Hello, my name is Eddie and I don't know how to make YouTube videos. Yes.
Characters.
My name is Eddie and today I will be talking about characters. So last week I talked a bit more about me and why I create characters and why I create stories, and I talked a bit more about my project for school. Talked about the photographies and the different visions I had for them. But today I'm actually going to be talking about the characters. I'm going to go in depth on two of them and skim over lightly two other of them. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the first one we're going to talk about is Teo. I remember I mentioned that I didn't really know how to name Teo because he kind of has two names, well, three. He is referred to as the Hyung, which in Korean culture means an older brother. He is called the Hyung because well, I'm not gonna put any impact on it. He is a member of the mafia. And he is the oldest one, so he is the Hyung. And also because as an older brother, he manages to make the problems disappear. So he doesn't take the blame, I'm sorry. He can get anything he wants, anything you want, for a fair price. It's kind of like having a Hyung, an older brother. But yeah, getting a little bit more about him. He was born as Park Taemin, and he was born the son of the chief deputy of Seoul Metropolitan Police. And he was not an only son. He had a twin brother. His twin brother was called Teo. They were kind of like day and night, really. They were water and oil. They didn't mix. They were completely different. And Teo, he was a stellar student. He was the apple of everyone's eyes. He was a sweetheart, very kind, very attentive, smart. He was like the perfect boy. While Taemin, well, he wasn't. He was mischievous. He was a trickster. And what began as teasing very often ended in like actual fights. It just got worse and worse with time. So when he was 14, I believe, I do not remember correctly. When he was 14, his parents sent him, well, his father, because his mother is absent, his father sent him to boarding school, a reformatory in a way. And that should be enough to fix Taemin's issues, but I guess I kind of wanted to imply that he had a sociopathic tendencies without actually mentioning it, so just very gently brush over it. And he did not change, but he kind of did also in a way. You see, Taemin is a very good actor, and he managed to fool everyone at the boarding school for years. When he got released from the school when he was 17 on good conduct, everyone thought he'd just become another Teo. He was an angel. He was a soft boy. When he got home from the reformatory, everyone threw him a party. Everyone was super proud of him, and he invited his twin brother Teo out for a late night snack. Because in Korea you have there is a big custom of 24-hour opening establishments. We have a specific name that I do not remember. It's just like snack shops where you can go eat ramen and all of that. It's open 24 hours. So they went to that and they had an ice cream. And Teo, he was an actual soft boy, you know. He was convinced that Taemin had changed. only that he didn't. And when they were they were close to home, they entered an alleyway because Taman said it was closer to home. And he shot Teo. He shot Teo twice in the heart with a gun that he had managed to get from Mafia that he had been in contact with through contacts in the reformatory. After disposing of Teo's body in the river and keeping his clothes, Taman rushed home, and once again, well, not once again, he rushed home and he probably began what was going to be his biggest act of his life. He pretended to be Teo and claimed that Taman had assaulted him before running away in a white van to never be seen again. Since everyone was very aware of Taman's nature and how he would act before getting sent to the reformatory, no one was really surprised. Everyone had been very hopeful that he had changed, but he didn't, apparently. So no one was really surprised, and they just let him go. No one spared Taman another second's thought. He was basically banished from the family. No one ever mentioned him again. Taman, who is now Teo, that I will start referring to as the Hyung, followed his father's footsteps and entered the police academy because actual Teo had been on the talks for it, because he wanted to be just as good as a man as his father was. That was a stellar opportunity for the Hyung, because he is still in talks with the Mafia, and it's not just stellar for the Hyung, it's stellar for the Mafia as well, because now they're going to have a great contact and an insight in the police force, which is outstanding for them, I guess. I don't know Mafia work. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to know about the Hyung. The backstory, who he is now. He is lead commander of the organized crime unit of the Seoul Police Department Agency. The Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency, I'm sorry. And I guess that's it. I don't know where he will go. I don't know what to do next with him. But he is someone that I've put a lot of thought into and that I really would like to bring forth. And I will try my best. Next up is Emberly. Emberly was born as Amber Josephine. She was born in New York. She was born in the middle of a lawyer family. And in my work, in my portfolio, I say that I don't know how I put it exactly, but in a way, I guess what made me think of creating Emberly was how extremely lonely it feels sometimes to be in a place surrounded by people. It gets even more lonely and aggravating when there's more people around you than when you're all alone. I guess that's my personal intake on it. And sometimes it gets very deafening, like the noise, the white noise of people going around and bustling through their lives around you without sparing you a second glance. It gets very deafening, and I guess that was my first initial thought for Amber. And going on through with that deafening, that deaf feeling where you can't hear anything substantial. That's why I made the decision of making her deaf. She has had problems within her eardrums from birth. She doesn't hear, she doesn't speak. But that doesn't mean that she's incapable. No, that just means she's more ferocious to manage to prove herself to others. And she is pushed to the lawyer life from a very young age, as everyone in the family has, and that's mostly all she's known, and that's mostly why she is continuing on with her law studies. She is on her last year of law school and about to get into a very prestigious law firm. And I guess that what I was trying to show with Amber is how many teenagers right now, teenagers and young adults, are doing what they're doing in a job and academic sense, mostly because of that's all they've grown to know. And I wanted to showcase that through Amber, because she's not doing law because she likes or enjoys it. Actually, she detests it. But she's doing it because she wants to make her parents proud, and because she feels like it would be a disgrace to the family. I mean, it's an all-lawyer family. Straying away from that path would be like being the worst kind of black sheep in the entire world. So I guess that she already feels bad enough for having a disability, that she feels like she needs to prove herself to her family and to prove herself worthy of their appreciation and their proudness. But going away from what she's doing right now and going into what she really wants to do, I wanted to do kind of a different take on stuff. And normally I see people from the country running away from the country into the cities, and I kind of wanted to twist it up a bit, so I wanted to do a city girl who wants to very desperately live in the country alone. Not alone, I mean having a little family with her, of her own, but she wants to have a little farm, have a little pigs, a little cow here and there, some rabbits, some chicken, ducks, all the works. She just wants to live peacefully, without the bustlings of the city and without the deafening silence of the nights in the city where no one really spares you a second glance. And that was my take on why she does what she does. She has a very big aspiration aside from owning her own farm. She loves the night sky. She absolutely adores it, and often goes to bed late just because she has stayed up in the rooftop of her apartment building just looking at the stars for hours. So I guess that if Amber's biggest inspiration wasn't to own a farm, I think she would like to be an astronaut. Despite she can't, because I haven't not studied about this, so I am very sorry if my informations are wrong. But I do believe you cannot be an astronaut if you have a hearing disability, right?
Yeah, you can't, because the muscles go tiny and you go to space.
Yeah, what she said. So I feel that was her biggest dream when she was little. But because of her disability, she shifted it into living a peaceful life where she can still appreciate the stars, even from a bigger distance, but, still have her peace and quiet. So that's it for Amber. And now I want to talk about my precious little boys, which is Loey and Captain Dio. This is about my space alternative universe in a way. So there's going to be a lot of terms that I will say, and I will try to explain them as best as I can in post-production, so I will leave like little notes, pause the video, explain it better, that's it. So my first inspiration for this alternative universe was a tall boy who looks scary, but is the actual softest guy, like a giant-sized puppy, I guess that's what you could call it. And I wanted to stray away from humans and all that, because it gets boring after a little bit, so you get to fantasize. And I haven't done anything space related or extraterrestrial, and I really wanted to give it a try. So I spent about 3 or 4 days confined in my own room, creating different species and different planets and constellations and stars and languages, only so I could bring this to life. I haven't done anything with it, but it's given me a lot of pleasure to just close my eyes and daydream about it for a little bit. It's kind of my special place. So loey, he is an engineer, and he is a Phlegivian. He is 20, I believe, give me a second. Sorry. He is approximately 25 bands. So quick intake on the time measurements. I didn't want to do seconds, minutes, and hours, so I did through bands, and I will put a little text in here that explains the time measurements for a little bit, so that's that. So he's approximately 25 bands in age, which is around 24 years. And I already mentioned he's a Phlegivian. He was born in the Vermilion planets, and most specifically Beliglis. I need my little cheat sheet with me. Yeah, he was born in Beglilis in the Vermilion Island, which is what they called, the Vermilion Island is what they call the unity of 2 or more red planets in reddish color. Beglilis is the biggest one, the biggest planet in the Vermilion Islands, and it is located in the Unity Galaxy. So the Unity Galaxy is the biggest galaxy, and the main planet is the Graria, which is kind of the metropolitan city of all of the galaxies, and the one that controls mostly all of it. There's a lot of corruption going on, mainly with the Unity, which is the leaders, and the Peace Control Corps, which are kind of like the police forces of the universe. They work alongside to enforce their laws, and it's all very unfair. And I did a little bit of an alien life handbook that I will link in the description below, that will explain it a lot better. And I do intend to get to work on it a little bit more after my school is over, so in the summer vacations I will try my best to develop this idea more, because I do really enjoy this one. So back to loey. He is Phlegivian, as I said. Phlegivians are red in color, especially the tribe, the ones in the fire tribe. And he is 2 meters tall, around 2 meters tall. Has 4 arms, so 2 pairs of arms. The top pair of arms has 5 fingers, and the lowest one has 6. He has 2 rows of teeth, big smile. He actually has braces because his teeth are crooked, and he wanted to get them straight because crooked teeth look scary, and he didn't want to look scary. He has big ears because he wants to hear everything, and he has little antennas that flick around. And his main inspiration for life is to hug as many people as possible. That's it. He just wants hugs. He's a big puppy at heart, and he suffered a lot. He was kicked out of his own planet when he was 14 bands, because he established contact with someone from a different tribe. So in Beglilis it's forbidden to establish contact between tribes, different tribes. So fire tribes keep to themselves, the water tribes keep to themselves. It's forbidden. He accidentally made contact with a Flora tribe. And the dude from the Flora tribe freaked out. He rushed away to tell everyone that Loey was bad. And he wasn't. He was just a little curious teenage boy. But yeah, laws are laws, and since Baglivia's is part of the Unity system, laws are very, very enforced in there, and he had to get whipped in the center plaza in front of everyone and be renounced by his parents in front of everyone again. And then he was pushed into a ship that was condemned scrap metal and sent to Degraria to live his life there as an exile. In Degraria, he found a nice crayon lady. So crayons are kind of a safe spot for everyone that isn't very well accepted by the Unity, and I made them because I think that when everyone is having a very hard time, I would like to think that there are nice people in the world that would like to help them. So I guess crayons are kind of people with a very good heart. And they help mostly individuals that aren't accepted by the Unity or have been wronged. And Loey is one of them, and he lived under the cares of the crayon lady for a long time. The ship that came from Baglivius became his own, and he worked very hard on fixing it until it was sent to a waste field land. So a little bit of context, in Degraria there's over, I don't know how many moons I gave Degraria, but there's a lot. And there's a lot of waste field moons. So since Degraria is a country there's mostly urban, there's no natural land in Degraria. There's a lot of waste and a lot of trash, and they had to push that away from the planet to give a good image to everyone in the Unity, because oh, we're the rich guys. That's how it works. So there's around, I don't wanna say poorly, but there's around 6 wastefield moons, and Eos is one of them, and Eos is where Chaniol is sent. And he's not sent there, he actually goes with his ship because he grew attached to the ship. And within the ship he actually met Captain Dio, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, he gets sent to Eos, he fixes the ship, yada yada yada. They have a ship, that's cool. Speaking of Kyungsu, not Kyungsu, Captain Dio, I'm sorry. Kyungsu was an inspiration I had. He's a singer, he's an inspiration I had for this person. I'm gonna cut all of this. Speaking of Captain Dio, let's actually get into his story a little bit. Captain Dio is a Cludavian, which is a very strange species. They're very lawful, and they do not abide by the laws of the Unity. They actually are in a complete different star system. They are in the Kamaya star system, the home planet of them, which I do not remember the name for the life of me. Actually, side note, it is now, what time is it? It's late. So I don't really remember all of the details. But again, I will put little notes. Yes, as I was saying, he's part of the Kamaya star system, the home planets of the Cludavians, and they do not abide by the rules of the Unity, so they're automatically renegades. They have their own rules. So Captain Dio for now, is a Cludavian, and he actually didn't know what he was for a long time, because he was kidnapped by a group of space pirates who raided and murdered his parents. Raided at the house, and they found the baby, and they felt too bad to kill the baby and thought, hey, we can raise it to be just like us, and that's what they did. They took Kyungsu to one of the Red Planets, and Red Planets are planets that are forgotten by the Unity, so they're just full to the brim of criminals and pirates and bounty hunters, and all the scum that can be is just in the Red Planets. They're in the Graria and the Unity just deny the existence of those planets, even though it's blatantly obvious that they're there. But okay. So Dio lives there. Dio is raised by pirates. He knows what he's doing is wrong, but I mean, it's in his blood. So he does a few pirate jobs here and there while growing up before he ran away. And he ran away in another ship that was doomed to the wastelands, and he went to Degraria. And again, just like Loy, he found home in a nice home in. He found home in the home of a Korean couple, and he lived there for many bands and worked side jobs as delivery boy because he was young. He was a little cutie thing, especially because Clued aliens are small, and he always looked far younger than he had always been. And one of these days when he was getting home after one of his jobs, he found the Korean couple killed and Peace Corps just bustling around trying to find him. So he ran away to Eos in a ship that was doomed to the waste fields, which was Loey's ship. So they met there, and that's when they met